the Stitches and Sundries fiber episode. We are on number 30.
30, yeah.
And this is, today is November, what, 21st?
21st.
We just did this. And we are here to talk to you about knitting and crochet fibery goodness. I have almost finished, acquisitions, and updates.
Ooh, I have an update.
A big update.
I have an update.
You have a big update.
That's what I have.
I'm Devin.
I'm Lauren.
I can be found on Instagram as Devin_no_loose_ends.
And I'm Lauren Upstitching.
Yeah.
We did it.
So, yeah, I have been knitting.
Hey, that's awesome that you now have space to knit.
My house finally has, like, I have my living room set up with my chair and my lamp, and, like, I'm keeping, like, my little, what is that called? Bowl of a bag of notions now. I used to always have to just pack it around. Now it just lives in the living room on an end table, and I don't have to go find my stuff when I need my stuff. Except I did lose my scissors. I don't know how I lost my scissors, but they're gone. My tiny little scissors. But
I have a very large, it was a dental cabinet before. We bought it off eBay and then cleaned it up. And
that cabinet is really cool.
It's super awesome. It holds all my craft stuff. And so I just have like a little tiny, like the drawers are like this wide. They're very small. And so I have all my hooks in one and I have all my scissors in another. And but there's like 12 of those little drawers. So I have stuff spread out. But now I'm like expanding out of it and I'm like, ooh, need another cabinet. We're just gonna, I'm like, more storage. More storage
for all the crafting.
And so I've convinced Sarah we need to, we have a kitchen bar that like hangs out and you're supposed to put bar stools. We've never had bar stools. We use the counter when like, I don't know, we have a cookout or something. We just like, people can walk up.
It's like buffet line.
Yeah, it's like a buffet line. But we don't use the space under the counter. And I have convinced her that we just need to fill that with storage.
That would be really cool. You could probably get some really cool old TV stand type furniture. That's kind of what
we're looking for.
Console tables would fit under there really well.
Or we also have the space for like two, I think they're called like buffet cabinets or
buffet tables.
Yeah, just like not quite. They're not quite very tall, and they're narrow, so they won't stick out farther than the counter itself. Yeah. So I'm like, excuse me, my crafts are taking over. I'm just gonna have to need more storage, please. But that's down the road thinking. But like, I'm thinking about it.
Hey, you always need more storage. I know. I am struggling with the storage in my craft room. We went to Goodwill this a week ago, and I bought. They had like a 3-tier drawer, one of those plastic drawer things. Yeah. And I bought that. And I got a couple baskets, and I got a coat rack, like the tall thingy with the hooks. Oh, yeah. And all my whips are hanging on my coat rack in bags.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that organization, though.
Yeah, it's kind of handy, because a lot of people just have a basket of bags. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll hang them all. It just barely fits upstairs, though, because we have the slanty roof.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, one prong is touching the roof. So there's one prong that if I need something off of it, I kind of have to like pull it toward me, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
The furniture is happening slowly, and it is, it's good. I wound up my first ball of yarn in my house, and I never knew that that would be a moment. I didn't think that would be a moment, but it was a moment to just like, I have the space. I don't have to move a bunch of crap. I don't have to like dig something out of a bag that's lost and try to find like. My yarn ball is just always attached to my sewing table that is just always set up with my yarn winder because I never sew. But it's just established that I have this space.
Is your space and your crafts,
so nice.
And your crafts are allowed to take up your space because nobody's telling you to put shit away.
I know. That's so nice.
Big deal.
It's so nice. And then I have, I put all of my, I was struggling, I'm still trying to figure out where everything needs to go. So I have 2 baskets by our front door of all of my finished projects so that I have stuff to wear. And I can just grab something and wear as I go out the door, like this today.
Which looks amazing with your blue sweater.
My blue sweater. This sweater is so cute. I got it from a vintage clothing market shop thing in downtown Frostburg, and it was really cool. Yeah. She's like, I just posted that on Facebook, and I'm like, is it still available? I need it, because this is my color. Like, this is.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll talk about what I'm wearing, since we don't need to just hear about my yarn room this whole time. So yes, I am wearing, this is the Hipster Cowl by Hohilo Catelli. I knit this forever ago. The yarn I used is
beautiful.
Beautiful. I don't remember the shop, but I know it's blue-faced Leicester, cast. I don't know how to say that word. BFL.
Leicester, probably.
Fancy.
Knowing us.
Fancy yarn. And it's from Pennsylvania. And it was very nice. And if I can find the tag for it, I will link it, because this yarn. I got this at, this is, a lot of my yarn came from my first trip to, what was it? Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool. Mm-hmm. So this was one of the first projects that I finished with my New York Sheep and Wool the first time I went. Yarn collection haul.
That's awesome.
And it is very warm. It is very, very warm, and it goes really nicely with the sweater. So,
you know, I just thought of this, and I don't know why it has never occurred to me before, but you going to Rhinebeck, like, we are both big board gamers. I'm a huge RPGer. I have been to local conventions for stuff like that before. And we went to the Frederick Fiber Fest. Rhinebeck is so huge and so massively attended. Like, when I think of going to larger, like, national conventions for board games or gaming or whatever, or, you know, like, nerd culture in general, I'm always like, I don't even think I'd know where to start, and I'd be miserable the whole time. So you going to Rhinebeck, like, gives me hope that I will one day be able to do that stuff, because, like, the idea of something that big and that full of people, and that, like, you gotta know where you're going, and you better have a timetable, and if you want to see something, you better get over there, and you better elbow a guy in the face to get in your spot in line. I mean,
so when I went to Rhinebeck, I avoided the stalls that were, like, aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, Mrs. Babs is one that's, like, it was bad. And I just didn't even try to go there. I went more to the smaller, like, barns that had the, like, farm yarns, and I got a lot. This is farm yarn. This is, like, the lady raised her own sheep or something, and she dyes the yarn in her barn. I don't know. Like, it was just, it wasn't, I didn't go to, like, the really big hits, and I got overwhelmed. There were points where, I mean, it was a 2-day, I think it's Saturday and Sunday, and on Saturday, I got so overwhelmed we left, because Saturday was really bad. But I didn't leave empty-handed. I still got to see the stuff I wanted to. I just didn't do everything, because there was a lot of, like, overwhelming moments. And then Sunday was much better. Sunday, a lot of people come down for just Saturday and then leave, so Sunday can be a little more relaxed. It's still crowded. It is still crowded, but it seemed like the, like, rush wasn't as bad. And I also kind of, like, regrouped after I left, and, you know. Yeah. But I didn't, just to clarify, it just happened this year, so it did happen. I didn't go to that one. Yeah. I'm like, this is, like, 2018 or 19 when I went, so.
I think it was 19, because they didn't have it last year because of COVID.
Yeah, so, I think they did have it, and it's already happened, but we didn't go to that, but. I do want to go to the Maryland Sheep and Wool. Yeah. I wanted to go to Frederick this year, but it just didn't work out with buying the house. But
next year we will definitely. Next year, I think both of us.
May is Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Yeah. I think both of us will be in a better place to make time. Like, this last year, all summer, I changed jobs and messed around, so we couldn't do anything. You were saving for a house, we couldn't do anything. It was just a year of hunker down and, like, get through life. We're also, I'll have my booster shot, I think not next week, the week after, because I'm in the medical industry now. So and every time we have, we open a thing of boosters, and then, like, they can't administer it. Like, there's nobody there to administer to, and I have, like, 3 shots left in the bottle. They call staff, and they're like, "Come down here. We don't want to throw it out." So we'll have our booster. Woohoo! And then you will not fucking stop me. You will not stop me from going where I want to go, playing the board games I want to play and seeing the people I want to see and I want to go to the movies. I haven't been to the movie theater in like 3 years. Are you kidding me? I used to run part of a movie theater and I haven't gone to a movie theater in 3 years.
That's crazy. Jason really wants to go see the new Ghostbusters movie.
Yes! I want to go see the new Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
I also want to see, I saw a freaking YouTube ad for the movie Belfast, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, the trailer did no justice for what the movie was about. So I had to go Google, like, what is the movie about? And it's about a guy growing up in Ireland during the Troubles, like when the IRA is bombed, and it was just very interesting. It had great music. And I'm like, I'm hooked. I want to go to the theater. Let me go to the theater. But our theater also sucks and won't play that. So
yeah,
they're never gonna get that.
Is our theater even open?
It's like half open. It's limping. It's limping along.
Well, they really messed up because for COVID they like turned off all the heat and power, and the building had mold and it was bad.
The building basically like they've stopped air conditioning it and or doing any kind of like temperature control because they're like, people aren't in there. Well, it turns out it's a really old and shitty building, and it just like, it's not actually that old, just it's not maintained well by them.
And when they turn stuff off, it's really not maintained well.
When they turn stuff off, it's really not maintained well. And so it got very moist in there and like destroyed a bunch of their cameras, their projectors and stuff. So it was really dumb.
Yeah, that happened.
Well, obviously the type of people who are like, I can save a buck by turning off all this stuff, are also the type of people who are like, I can save a buck by putting some duct tape up there instead of fixing the hole in the roof or whatever it is. Anyway, this
is a fiber crafting podcast. I'll get us back around to the point here.
Appreciate you.
I have an almost finished.
So
guys,
I'm so excited for an almost.
I'm so excited for this almost finished, and I tried so freaking hard.
Yes.
I mean, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even 2 hours this morning, I was busting tail to try to finish this for this episode. But I didn't quite make it.
Almost.
But check out my doodler. So I'll start here.
I'm in love.
I am knitting. Shawl. This is the Doodler by Stephen West. This is an older pattern of his. I don't see a lot of people still knitting this, so it's not one that's got a lot of hype right now, but I freaking loved this design and was dying to do this, and it's been on my list for a few years, and it was also one of my like Instagram make nines, and I made it freaking happen.
Yes, you did, girl. This is my favorite part, this transition from the black to the white. Like, this is just, I love the wave, I love the finishing on that transition.
That I cord right there is so gorgeous. Nice.
It makes this black, which is like pitch. Like, really pop.
So, I guess I should start talking about this. So, first of all, yarns are Pandia's Jewels. The purple is the color Wednesday. This is Howlite. And then this was Midnight. And I did, hang on, I wanted to say, I can't reach, I have short arms. I did this on US 3s. Which I think is a size down from what was recommended. I'm trying to figure out how to better judge my knitting, and I think sizing down is kind of the way to go for me. I really like the fabric that I got. This shawl is knit in 3 parts. So you first do these little stripes here, and you do this with an I-cord edge all around. You do an I-cord cast on, and then when you finish your stripes, you have a tiny little bit of purple stitches on right here, and you go and you do this purple edge. This is a cabled edge. So there's full garter stitch, eyelet lace, very easy, simple lace. There's a cable, there's I-cord edge finishing, and then this black section is a nice wave that it gives to the shawl. Beautiful. I will be blocking this eventually so that you can really see that
there a little bit.
Yeah,
so pretty.
So the black lace section, in his directions, he says something about like you can choose to either do 3 repeats of the wedge or 4. And I did 3 and I held it up and I'm like, is this enough? And Jason said, that shawl's not big enough for you, so you should go more. And he's like, you like the big shells. And I'm like, yeah, I do. So I did do the whole 4 repeats of section 3, which was a lot of stitches on the needle. And I will show you, I had, did I already get it? I got it out over here. I was knitting the whole shawl on, like, hang on, I'll pull it back like this. This end to end, this is the cable that I had. And my stitches were so crammed on here. It was really bad. It was frustrating.
I believe it.
But I did not have a longer cable available because my longest cable is in use on another project right now. So I struggled through my short little cable problems, and I'm just like, I would stitch a little and then I'd have to periodically just move some stitches around.
Yeah, just like cram them down.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a little bit of a struggle.
It's so
and the I-cord bind off on this, I will say this bind off, you have 3 options in the pattern. I don't remember all 3, but I chose the picoed edge. So that's what all this white yarn is sitting here. I will pick these stitches back up and knit little picot edges right here that will poke out off of this purple, like kind of like poke.
I love it.
Little, and they'll be black picots that will contrast with that purple. And then once I do that, this shawl will be ready to be washed and blocked and the ends woven in. But it is amazing. I'm so happy with this. I love my colors. I did a really good job at picking my colors. I'm so happy with them. And I love the finishing of this. Like all this I-cord edge, like, man, it was so nice. Even though the I-cord bind off took me probably, I'd say a total of 4 hours to do just the bind off.
Ooh.
Because it's, you're binding off when you do an I-cord. So you knit 3 stitches, you put those 3 stitches back on your left needle to then knit them again, basically. So you knit 2 and then knit 2 together. That's the one, you're binding off 1 stitch. So in order to bind off 1 stitch, you knit 3, pass them back, knit 2, knit 2 together.
Oof. For 1 single stitch.
For one, binding off 1 stitch. So it is a long process to do the I-cord bind off, but I will say, totally worth it. It looks so professional in this finish. I'm so happy with it. This shawl is going to be a staple staple item I wear. I love how it looks, just like thrown. Let me just knock down your wall decorations. Thrown across the bottom.
They don't matter as much as a shawl.
I am in love, guys.
It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
So, favorite.
I've been doing Christmas shopping, and I almost bought you one of his books for Christmas.
I mean, I would love one of his books.
You didn't get it. That's not what you got.
I have a lot of knitting books on my wish list for Christmas. I'm trying to like nudge. Jason is such a complicated person. Like, he says he never knows what to buy for me, and I'm like, I have a wish list on Amazon with like 5. So I want Melanie Berg's books. I want Stephen West's books. There's Tanis Gray came out with the Knitting Disney book. I want to do that. And so I have like all these trapped. I have all these books that I would love to have, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to put them because I don't have a bookshelf for my knitting books yet, but
soon then you just need to buy a bookshelf.
I need a bookshelf.
If you get any more knitting books, I have more books to fill the bookshelf with.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just so the Stephen West
knitting dreams.
The Stephen West, he has one, like, I just watched one of his videos. I think it was like the classics or something, and it was just him showing off some of his older designs with updated colors, and his designs are just, they just get me. Yeah. They just...
Well, he's always doing something creative and interesting. It's not just even if he's just doing a straight triangle shawl, he's like, let's do something interesting. Let's add, you know, what was the one I've seen? What was the one I just saw somebody doing?
Well, he's got a knit along right now.
Yeah, the knit along.
It's like the hybrid knit along. It's a mystery one, so I haven't seen much of it.
Keeps coming out in sections. And then there's like a whole section in the middle where you just have floating spirals of lace, and then everything hangs from them. I'm like, that is weird and cool, and I love it.
He does a lot with shape. He does a lot of shaped
and texture.
Shape design,
texture in the
yeah.
Even if you're doing
and he like flat. I listened to several of his videos about like yarn choices and stuff, and like he really encourages you to like mix it up. You don't have to use all colors from one designer. You can use different colors, different yarn bases. You just kind of want to stay like pick a theme or something. Like he was talking about like you want to go like if you want to pop a color and then maybe some like neutrals or something, like some little less. Yeah. Or you want to do all these pinks and stay in that one color family. Yeah. So he just gives like a lot of great advice.
Autumnal or, you know, like picking a theme that you're going with, like autumnal, tropical or whatever, you know, stay in a zone where you feel like all your colors mesh together nicely.
Yeah, he's
just pretty awesome.
I am in love with this shawl, and it is my second Stephen West shawl that I've knit, and I have to say his shawls are a lot of fun, and because he does the sections, at least the two shawls I've done have a lot of sectioning, so it's something to keep you motivated and interested the whole time. Yeah. Like I just need to finish this section, and then you
feel really accomplished. Yes. Like, oh, I'm making so much progress.
And even though like my black section had like 600-700 stitches in that area, I didn't have that the whole the whole bulk of the shawl. I only had that for that small section, so it wasn't like I had to carry that for a long time.
Forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, beautiful shawl.
Very awesome.
Beautiful shawl. What do you have?
I have one update.
Okay, I have one new start. No, I have one update, one new start, and 2 acquisitions.
All right, well, why don't you do a new start?
Okay. Boink. So, you guys, I've been ever on the quest for Christmas gifts. I started a Christmas gift.
Oh, I wear your hat all the freaking time. I get so many compliments on it. Because it's gotten cold here now. So I wear that hat into work all
the green one? Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is this? Now I need one of these.
You can't have all my hats. So you can hold this up. So.
Look at this color. Look at it. It's a little blown out. It's a little more neon on the camera.
It's not that neon. It's a little more muted in person. I don't know. It's the holding it back does nothing. It's the same, like nothing. But
it's like guacamole.
This hat I have the pattern laid out over here because I don't remember things. I didn't bring my book. I'm not organized. And the yarn, I can tell you who I got it from, but I don't remember the name of it or anything. So first I'll start with the beanie. The beanie is the Skyping Beanie, and this was a free pattern that I downloaded from Ravelry. It is by HJTH. I will link it below.
Yep.
Haldora J. Yeah. I just have the little picture here. I can show you. So I don't actually know the author or designer. It's said by HJTJ. I don't know. I'll link it below so you guys can find it. But anyway, this beanie is really nice. I just wanted another hat to add to my collection of hats that I'm gifting for this Christmas. It's just got a nice texture, and I chose really nice a very, it's a speckled yarn, but it's a very subtle speckle, and it is not this limey. This is really limey on camera, but it is actually just a,
well, it is
it's like a lemongrass green kind of color.
It's a lemony green. It's definitely got a lot of yellow in it, but the speckles really bring it down.
Yeah, the speckles are like a darker green. But the camera is just really blowing it out.
See if I can bring this up here a little bit.
But it's got a nice texture. It's I think it's knits and pearls is all it's in it. Nothing crazy. Whoops. Dropped my ball.
I'll trade you.
Okay. I knit this all in 2 evenings. I just kind of been wanting to start another hat and just have something that would be quick and easy, because I was kind of getting to a point where none of my other projects were easy peasy stuff. And I'm to the decreases. So I paused the decreases and tried to finish the doodler, and it didn't happen. So maybe if I wouldn't have done this hat, I
Where's this yarn from?
This yarn is from Knitcircus, and it is from their Christmas club that I had for last year. I'm not sure the colorway, but I will put notes below. I have the tag. It's sitting on my desk at home.
Yeah, I like it because it has a bit of that like woolly grip to it, but it is also so soft, and like you feel the denseness. Like you feel like that is a warm ass hat.
Well, this is DK weight.
Oh yeah.
This is not, I knit a lot of fingering weight. This is DK, so.
Yeah, it is lovely. Lovely.
It's a nice weight. And I have, I got last year for Christmas several skeins. I told people to, if they were going to buy me random yarn, to try to look for DK or worsted. And I have a lot of single skeins of that. So I have some nice hat yarn to collect. And I was just looking for a nice, easy peasy DK pattern. And I think this is going to be a good one. I'm pretty impressed with this pattern. It feels nice, has a good looking texture. Definitely. And I'm interested to see what the decreases look like. Because I wonder if the hat's reversible. Oh. Because, I should show you guys this. I do like the inside texture too. Like it's kind of like
Ooh, it's like it's like knobbly.
It is knobbly. It's kind of got this nice texture, and I'm just not sure if it's going to be reversible with how the decreases go. It depends. True. I could probably figure out how to make this the front, but I'm not going to because this is just a random gift.
Yeah, this is
if it was something that I was going, I could play with this pattern later. Yeah. I'm just trying to get some Christmas knits done. This is just a random one for the basket.
That's a smart way of doing like yarny gifts, because like I don't tend to buy you yarn because you know what you're after, you know what you need or what you're looking for.
But see, here's the thing. Yeah. People who buy me yarn sometimes buy me yarn that I wouldn't normally buy, which is a good thing for me because I like to try new things, but I don't always gravitate toward different colors. I needed to knit a hat for my nephew, and I don't have a single skein of red yarn in my stash. Yeah. Not one. But perhaps if someone was buying me yarn, they could buy me a red skein. And I'd be like,
true.
It might sit around for a bit until I had a need for a gift, but I will eventually use it all. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
You're fine. I was just saying, like, you know, I might buy you something that you're like, oh, I kind of already have a lot of something, or I don't really work with that weight, or, you know, whatever. Like, it's going to sit on my shelf for 3 years until I figure out what to do with it. Instead of, oh, I'm excited for this thing I actually wanted. You know, like, yeah, you won't be sad to get yarn, but it might not be exactly what you're looking for. My sister was going to buy me a bunch of cross-stitch patterns, which I cross-stitch a lot, for my birthday. And I was like, don't do that. Like, I know what I want when I want it. Like, buy me a gift card. But accessories for that stuff, like, I need needle minders. I need stitch markers. I need things. I'll always buy you accessories. But like, or maybe books. But saying like, hey, if you're gonna buy me yarn, I'm really I never buy DK weight, or I really need some single skeins of whatever, or like look for me some greens because I'm just like looking for some cool greens or something. Yeah, giving like a direction without a buy me this specific yarn. I've curated a list.
Or like, I tell Jason, dye her full yarns. Yeah. I love her yarns. Period. Literally anything on her website. Go there and have fun, and I will love it. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, stuff like that of like, and especially because you are also much more knowledgeable than Jason, or like an aunt who's like, I bought this at Walmart. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Aunt Beverly or whatever. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I say my Aunt Beverly because she buys me yard sale yarn all the time. I get so much yard sale yarn and I have to throw half of it out because like a mouse got in it.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway. So then I have an update and you have an update.
I have an update. Let's do an update. Oh, God, bring my big old bag over here. This is my temperature blanket from 2020, which I don't know why I was memorializing that shit year, but I did.
But, well, you started it before.
I started it before. We knew.
Before March, so before things got scary.
Yeah, I started it in January.
Where's your marker, duder?
Oh, we got it backwards.
Okay. That's what I figured.
There it is. So, this is my temperature blanket. This is my second one because I made mistakes. So, but here we go.
Well, you finished one whole blanket.
Yeah, basically.
You should clarify the mistake because you didn't. It's not like you had to start this over.
No. I'll go into the details. But this is where I was last time. I showed it on the podcast. This red line right here, and I've done half of September. So I'm halfway through September.
Look at these Catherine wheels. I love these Catherine wheels.
I like the wheels too.
And like, look at these ones down here. She pointed out to me earlier.
Yeah, there's
the purple and the gray together. Those Catherine wheels are so cool.
Yeah, there's some fun ones. So this is by Not Your Average Crochet. It's called the As We Go Stripey Blanket.
I love it.
And when I was choosing a pattern to do a temperature blanket on, most temperature blankets are done single crochet because they're humongous. Did not know that. But you think about it, 365 rows of something pretty large. But I also knew, I thought doing a row of single crochet, a pretty large row, because I wanted it to be comfortably sized. I didn't want a little lap blanket. I wanted something that would go foot to neck. I'm gonna die. Like, I will be so bored just doing a single crochet row.
Yeah.
365 of them.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll look around and I'll find a sampler pattern that has lots of different stitches and things going on, and it'll be great.
And I
found one, and it is great. But technical difficulties. But if you were looking for a super fun blanket to stitch, this is a super fun pattern. It just really is. It's well designed. It's got a great step-by-step tutorial with pictures and everything about the stitches. I love it.
It looks great.
So it has, but when I actually started, I have a whole nother blanket in my bag because they're much taller than a single crochet. So it ended up being long enough to cover an entire full-size bed when I finished June.
Are you weaving in ends as you go?
I am weaving in ends as I go. And I was going to put borders on it, but I am so tired of this project, so it's not getting borders, nothing like this.
It doesn't need borders.
They're going to be done.
It's great. Look at this blanket.
So anyway, these are all my colors. This is September, as I said, of 2020, so I'm almost done. I've got 3.5 months. Got 3.5 months and I will be done. I love these colors. I picked all my colors to kind of coordinate, but still be fun and interesting. We'll be going into the colder months, which are less vibrant. Goes into grays and greens and browns and like autumny oranges, and then some blues for the really cold. But it has this pattern. It has granny stitches, bobble stitches,
Catherine wheels,
stitches, Catherine wheels, several star stitches, which are the bane of my existence and are coming up. And it is just
stars.
They slow me down so much. Like 4 rows of Catherine wheels. Okay, so like these 4 rows of Catherine wheels take me about, and my blanket is 221 stitches wide. So they take me about, I could do probably 10 rows of basic double crochet in the time it takes me to do 4 Catherine wheels. I could do 15 rows, I feel, of double crochet in the time it takes me to do 2 rows of stars. They're so slow. Every stitch you move forward is 3 stitches, similar to your I-cord edge. It's actually 5 stitches because you're doing 5 points of a star. So every stitch moving forward is 5 stitches to move you 1 forward. So it's just like... Whereas with the Catherine wheels, you're doing 7 stitches at a time, but then you jump forward to finish the wheel.
Yeah.
So you do 7 stitches, you jump forward, you finish the wheel. You jump forward to finish the wheel. So at least it's like, okay, I'm doing 7 stitches, but then you just keep moving forward. Whereas the star stitches, you're only moving forward a teeny tiny bit every 5 stitches.
Yeah. I could see that being a problem.
So they just slow me down. but I'm coming.
But this pattern is one that's, I just think it's so awesome that this designer worked out how to put all these stitches together.
Oh, yeah. It's
with
amazing.
a stitch count that is constantly changing to get these stitches to do what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. And, like, the Catherine wheels are the one spot you might see it kind of, like, dip in a little bit because, and she says, like, loosen up. Like, you're going to have to loosen up or go up a hook size or something because the Catherine wheels will pull in versus having a nice straight edge. And if I felt like putting a border on, which you're supposed to do, I would fix that. That would just kind of, like, work its way right out. But everything else is, like,
fine.
Yeah. Board straight. Like, no problems.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it's beautiful.
It's very warm, too.
It's also very warm. I'm doing this in Cascade 220 Sport. I picked that because I knew I'd need a massive quantity of it. And it was
enough to do 2 blankets.
Enough to do 2 blankets. And it was fairly cheap. And came in a wide range of colors that I knew I wouldn't have trouble getting.
Yes.
And I did have some supply chain issues when COVID hit. And slowed me down a little bit too, but I am enjoying this project. I'm still enjoying it. Despite, I sat last night, I stayed up till 2 a.m. Because I wanted to get to the mid-September point, so I had something to show.
We were stitching together, and we didn't even know it.
Hey, my Instagram name is Lauren Up Stitching for a reason. I miss being able to stay up late. My last job was able to stay up late. But I still really enjoy it, despite doing it for this long and being like, okay, I'm ready for this project to be done. I enjoy the process of working on this blanket. It is a fun blanket to work on.
It is beautiful.
So I will have an update again when I finish September, probably. That's like, probably going to try like every 15 rows or so. I'm not going to like overwhelm you with 1 or 2 rows when I get this chonker done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Perfect. So I have been working like a busy bee. A busy bee. On my wedding shawl again.
Oh, I love this thing. I know, it's so pretty. Oh, before you bring this up.
Yes.
No, I'll do it after. Never mind.
Okay.
Anyway.
Sorry.
No. That was my fault. I brain deaded.
You brain deaded? Was it about your blanket?
No.
Oh, okay. The wedding shawl. This is Wild Swan by Nim Teasdale. And someone else whose name I can't remember. It's a co-design. And I'll include that in the link below because I just am a terrible person. So I was here last time, so I made an inch of progress, but an inch in lace is a lot.
An inch in lace is a lot.
And I'm at about 400 and some, 500 and some stitches. And I am now heavily beaded in areas.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the
beading all over.
Yeah, some of the stronger beading in the, in the feathers. Yeah.
Some more beading.
I am loving how these beads look with this blue.
Yeah, I think you can see those beads. I can't see, but I think you guys can. But, yeah, the beading is making me slow. That's for sure. I am not very coordinated when it comes to doing it. I have a bowl now that is just full of beads, and I take my crochet hook and I just go whoosh into the bowl and I catch a bead.
Yeah.
So, because before I started, I was trying to painstakingly put one bead on the hook, but now I just dip it in the bowl.
Scoop. Like something's
Well, it doesn't always catch. Sometimes I have to do it 2 or 3 times, but I usually get one.
Yeah.
So it's working. And I finished a chart. I didn't bring the pattern with me, but I'm on chart E now, and I am.
How many charts do you have?
Maybe I'm on F. I think I just finished E. I have 2 more charts left. It goes to G. I'm pretty sure it goes to G, and so I'm on F.
Nice. But each of those charts is repeated multiple times.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so the chart I'm on is 2, 4, 6,
gorgeous.
12. I have 12 rows of it, and then it's done. So it repeats in these sections. That's what the stitch markers are. Yeah. So I'm on chart F, but it has, I think, 12 rows. And then I'm on chart G, which has fewer rows. And then binding off, It is going, it drastically increases in stitches soon. Like it goes almost up by 100 soon. So it's, because we got to get to almost, I think 500 and some. But this yarn, you guys.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That yarn.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Pretty. So this yarn is the blue brickish, and this is the color Stormy. She is updating pretty regularly. She has one coming out. I don't know if you'll be able to catch it before we post this video, but it's coming out the beginning of December or something. But she does lots of updates, and her yarns are beautiful. And I'm using merino cashmere nylon, I think, and it's the sparkle base.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So
the shawl has a fade, it's got sparkle, it's got beads, it's got lace. There's a lot going on.
It is a wedding shawl properly.
Yes, it is super fancy. It is so nice.
Now, do you have the ball? Because it goes much darker than this, right? Like,
yes.
It's fading into this
turquoisey
color.
I have to stretch.
It's fading into this turquoisey color, but I think it keeps fading.
It goes to a dark gray. Oh no. Okay, I have a boo-boo. Okay, it's stuck on a zipper. But it's not like in danger. It's just wrapped around it. Okay, there we go. The ball is falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
I'm to the point of the squishy falling apart ball, but it goes to this gray.
That is going to be so gorgeous.
So, yeah, it gets much darker blue. I mean, it gets like a more depth of the teal, and then it kind of gets a little smoky blue. And I'm not sure how much gray I'll get before. It might just end in smoky blue.
Yeah.
This will match your dress if you do that twilight. So yeah. The colors are going to go really well.
We're looking at bridesmaid dress colors. Because I'm a bridesmaid.
So it's going to look really awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, look at with you in your sweater.
Yeah, in my sweater. This is my color. This is me. That and pink. These are my colors.
Yeah.
So it's looking great. It's a lot of work to do just one row. I do one row and back a night. So 2 rows a night, but the purl row doesn't count as a row on the chart.
Right.
It's just your back across row. I don't know if crochet does that. I've never crocheted lace.
Yeah.
So
we just keep going. Eat up that yarn.
Yeah. Chomp, chomp, chomp. So anyway, it is going great, and it is beautiful, and I love it, and I can't wait to have it as a finish. I'm definitely going to finish it now before the wedding, because the wedding got delayed. We're changing the date. I don't know what date we're changing it to, but we're changing the date.
Freaking life.
Yeah, cars.
Freaking
got a car. Got to deal with the car situation. Okay, so then I have acquisitions.
Acquisitions.
You had a thing you needed to talk about.
Oh, last time in our episode we talked about my skull pullover and how I wasn't positive about its sizing. So I took the time this past week and blocked it, just what I had already done. Just like very gently blocked it, didn't like try and stretch it out or anything. Just like washed it, laid it out, let it dry to see how it would react. Bang on. So I am okay to continue working.
Woohoo!
So
that's good.
So that was a good experiment. So I don't have any progress.
So it's not stretching.
It's not. I mean, I could totally like pin it out, and really try. But if I'm just very gently block it, it is perfectly fine.
That's great.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. So I'm good to continue, and I will be hopefully have an update next time. But I don't this time because that's what I spent my.
That's an update.
That's an update. Yeah. So. So just for your future reference, if you're blocking that kind of merino or Malibrigo sock, if you're very gentle, you don't have to have a ton of stretch if you don't want to.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Speaking of Malibrigo,
ooh.
I have 2 acquisitions. I am working on a Christmas knit, and my nephew asked me for a red hat. So this is the Ravelry Red, and he just wants a plain red hat. And then I forgot that earlier in the year, I committed to make a kid of a friend of mine her child's hat.
Oh.
And I forgot to buy the yarn for it. He had picked out an indie dyed yarn, and I found a Malibrigo that's close enough, and this is what he's getting. So, they'll never know.
No.
They're not knitters. They'll never know. So this is apple green, and this is what the kid wanted, was a very green, vibrant hat. So one kid will get this, and one kid will get this, and then they'll be happy. And then I can do some Christmas knits with this, with these weird, crazy Christmas colors.
That is a green. That is
not blowing out. That is picking up true to color.
That one is acid green.
Yeah, it's really crazy, but those are my acquisitions. I got off work early on Friday and raced over to Fiber Depot. I was actually, a client called me and was like trying to figure out by time that day to do a project for them, and I'm like, he's like, what are you doing this evening? I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get to a yarn store. And he's like, oh, I know the rush for a yarn store. It's 2 o'clock on a Friday. I guess I won't dump this massive project on you. And so I'm like, thank you. So I raced off to a yarn store. Yeah.
Arden's the best. So wait, does he know the rush of a yarn store because he knows you? Or does he have like...
He actually has experience because his ex-wife was a weaver.
Oh, gotcha.
So he kind of knows.
So he knows.
He went to yarn festivals. I don't know if he ever went to Rhinebeck, but he went to yarn festivals and did a bunch of stuff. And so he's kind of knows. Also, I learned that he's a previous glass blower in a past life, apparently.
Arden is an amazing person.
He's a computer programmer, glass blower, you know, whatever.
Financial
guru.
Yeah, like what do you mean?
Yeah. So anyway, it was really funny because he's like, I guess I won't dump this project on, and I'm like, yay, thank you. So I'm running off to the yarn shop to get the Christmas yarn I need to do some knits that I can hopefully have ready by Christmas.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm not doing any gift stitching for Christmas, so
I do a lot.
No, my family doesn't either. They don't deserve it.
My nephew is totally knit worthy. He, I knit him a hat for his birthday, and my sister's like, that whole weekend he did not take the hat off.
Oh.
And he is still, like, he started wearing a hat again, and he's been wearing it a lot since it's gotten colder. And she's like, he loves that hat. And she's like, look, my screensaver, it's him in the hat. Like, he loves his hat.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, well, that's great. So
we're doing a Secret Santa at work, and I was going to stitch something for the Secret Santa, and you were like, aren't they really, like, you don't even know this person, like, you're gonna cram this in, try and get this done, because of course Secret Santa ends, like, you know, on the 15th of December, you don't even get those extra 10 days, so, and I was like, you're right, no, they don't, I don't want to do this, so I'm not gonna,
stitch worthy, you have to do it for people who are stitch worthy.
But, like, when you're, like,
in the moment.
Well, yeah, because that's what I gift. Like, when I gift something to somebody, it's usually something I made, like, in some capacity. So, like, and I was like, oh, no, they're not. I don't want to. I don't want to waste my time on that. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little awkward, but I'm a little more stingy with who I knit for. Like, I am knitting a generic basket of hats and stuff, but it's all... These are special gifts. These 2 yarns I just bought.
Yeah.
They were requested, so they have a special home. But the hat that I'm knitting, it's a yarn in my stash that I wanted to use up, and I just want to knit a hat that's easy, and I don't particularly love that color, so it's a gift hat.
Yeah, easy peasy. Yep.
And it just goes in the gift basket, and I'm literally, my plan is to have enough stuff in the gift basket to take it to my family on Christmas and say, what do you want for my stash? Because this is what I made.
Yeah.
I'm no longer, like, I used to knit, like, a specific gift for them, but now they can pick out from the stash of, like, things. There's going to be...
That's a smart way to do it.
There's going to be some dishcloths, there's some hats, some headbands. I might do some of those wrist warmer things, but it's going to be very minimal. Yeah. Like, there's not a lot of them. I'm only offering it to the kids, not, like, all the aunts and uncles, because that would be insane.
Yeah.
But the kids.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So, it's the idea I have. We'll see how it goes this year. So, we will be back in hopefully 2 weeks. We have the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, so we could have a minor disruption from that. We'll see. We'll see, you know. But we should be back and bring you more crafty goodness.
Yeah, definitely.